Good evening, YouTube model railroading fans and model railroading live fans. I'm Ray. Welcome to the Boeville Newtown's vlog number 9 for 2020. And I know I'm shaking the heck out of this thing because I'm using the pole instead of the tripod, but there's a reason. It happens to be Sunday the 23rd of 2020, and you know how we've been talking about tweaking and finding issues and not going things down? Well, I found myself another issue. The other night, as you know, I was working on the hidden yard, which happens to be right there. And if you notice, I've got the Wabash, let's see, maybe. Let's try it this way. Anyway, the Wabash is sitting here, and it fits. However, it will not fit on the next track in. So, I have to make some manipulations here, which is what I'm going to be working on tonight. I've actually got to try and move the yard sections that way. I've got to move them that way. By about, I'm going to say probably about 9-10 inches. Shouldn't be an issue. I have room on that side. It shouldn't be a problem. I can't come this way much further because of where the split is. So I have to kind of do it on that end. So that's what I'm going to work on. So we're going to go ahead and move the camera over to the tripod, which will be a lot better. So we'll be back. Alright, we're going to go handheld this time, and I'm going to be behind the camera. And as you can see, I now have my yard tracks for Richmond. This is Richmond in front of us. I actually have some passenger cars staged. And then over here we have Harrisburg. So this is the Harrisburg yard. This is also otherwise known as the North Yard. And then that would be the South Yard. The tracks straight off the main here. This here is your inbound. And this one up here is the inbound. So this one up here is inbound to Harrisburg. This one down here is inbound to Richmond. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Start it again. 1, 2, 3, 4 are your outbounds from Harrisburg. And then over here, 1, 2, 3, 4 are your outbounds from Richmond. So hopefully this gives you a little bit better idea as to what is going on here with the hidden yards with Richmond and Harrisburg. So we'll be back. Alright, I know it's cutting my head off, but that's beside the point. Okay, well, now I'm off camera. Alright, good, great, there we go. Hey, he's back. Actually, give me a second. Okay, since we've got a little bit of engineering going on here tonight, what I'm about to do is a simulation, as it were. We're actually sitting on where the stand is actually on the folding section, which is the far end of the layout, quote unquote the north end, if you really want to go that way. And what I've done is I've staged a couple of trains here, and we're going to go ahead and swing the camera over here in a minute. And I'm going to simulate how these two yards work. Now, I did just get finished, knock on wood, running the two trains. They ran all the way around the layout, knock on wood, again, no issue. This will be the first time that anybody will actually see how these 2 yards work. So right now, going north, we've got the Baltimore and Ohio down here. Going south, we have the Wabash. Now, I've already set the yard switches to what's going to happen is when these 2 trains get to their respective yards, they're going to stop. I don't have everything wired yet, obviously. So what's going to happen is when the two trains get to their respective yards, I'm actually going to push out the other train, and I'm going to have to real quick kind of again, simulating a run. So cross your fingers, folks. This could get rather fascinating. Let me zoom this in just a tad so you all get a better... I mean, I realize I'm not standing right over top of it, but I think this will be a pretty good indication as to what's going to happen. So, Baltimore and Ohio is off, and the Wabash is off. And that's going to be one of the other things that's going to be coming up hopefully this week at some point, is actually going ahead and getting some of the wiring done underneath. I still don't have electric to the layout. That didn't pan out this week. Maybe that'll happen in the near future. If not, hopefully sometime really soon I'll actually get electric on this thing, which would be great. Alright, so the Baltimore and Ohio is actually headed into, or coming northbound, it's actually into the switchback area. The Wabash is actually down by Boeville. Now this isn't normal. We wouldn't have probably both of these running at the same time. This is a simulation, like I said. Alright, so here comes the southbound Wabash, and he's going to come into the yard track here. Okay, good. He stopped. Okay, good. They both stopped. Wonderful. That means my dead tracks work. Alright, so now going north we're going to have the 3-car Pennsylvania, and going south we're going to have the 2-car Pennsylvania. So I'm going to go ahead and get these guys past their dead tracks here. And I know I've got some track cleaning to do because these tracks aren't, some of these tracks have been sitting for a while. Okay, now, what would happen while this is going on, and what we're actually going to do here is we're actually going to flip Mr. Wabash. And I'm hoping I'm able to move Mr. Baltimore and Ohio before the northbound Pennsylvania gets here. Alright, that one's off. I gotta do something with the wheels on that passenger train. This thing's gonna drive me nuts. Okay, so here comes the southbound Penzie. We've had the northbound Penzie already stop. That means I can go ahead and finish putting the Wabash. Bingo. And one of the things I just noticed is I need to lengthen this track out a little bit. Not a big deal. Just have to add a section to it because that's what that's for. That's supposed to be the outbound passenger, so that's what that'll be used for. So I got to extend that a little bit, and I've got to put a piece of foam over here. Actually, you know what? I got the perfect piece of foam for it. Look at that. Okay, so you guys just got to see how this works. That's pretty freaking awesome as far as I'm concerned. Finally, things are starting to go right, knock on wood. So I'm going to stop it here. There he is. I'm going to stop here for the moment. I'm going to go ahead and do some other things. Obviously, I've got to lengthen that one piece of track. I've got track to clean. I've got to temporarily tack it all down. So that's going to be the next step. So we'll be back. We interrupt this vlog for an important announcement. What could it be? Who knows? In all seriousness, folks, if you're watching this video, or watching this vlog, coming March 29th, 2020 will be the Boeville and Newtown's first Sidetrack Sunday. Not sure on the time yet, but I will keep you all informed as to when that's going to happen. So, in the future, the vlogs may move to a different day of the week, and then obviously, well, actually, the vlogs will probably still stay on Sundays, with the exception of that Sunday. That Sunday they may come out, or that weekend they may come out on Saturday, they may come out on Monday. We'll see how things play out, but mark your calendars, March 29th, 2020. Probably going to be, I'm going to say right now, tentatively, 8 p.m. Eastern time, United States time. So just be informed, March 29th, 2020, 8 p.m. Eastern, Sidetrack Sunday. Well, I'm back again, and we all know how much of a point of contention, I guess, this whole switchback area has been for me. And I think I may have actually come up with an idea as to what I'm going to do with this. And it may be a little out of sorts. It may be a little strange. Of course, then again, I'm a strange person, so I'll take it. Gosh darn lights. I actually had another brainstorm, another drizzle, sorry, with this area. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to call it the Weikert Industrial Railway, the WIR. Because I don't have Weikert Hill anymore, per se. And the more that I've thought about what this area is supposed to be and what I want to do with it, it's not going to work the way I have it sitting here. With that being said, it's still going to be an industrial style area, obviously. It's still going to have, obviously, industries. Just not the industries that are sitting there right now. And I'll explain as we move forward. Alright. After much futzing Yeah, that's going to be a cement plant. There's the lumber company. And I found my old, what was supposed to be a coal dealer. I think I'm actually going to turn that into a gravel dealer of some sort or something of that nature. But I'm going to sleep on this configuration. I may change it yet again. But there's another idea. Okay. I'm back again. It's now Saturday the 29th of February. It's Leap Day. Sorry if I was a little bit off camera. Still futzing with this area here, and I'm going to, not on me, I'm actually going to swing around to the back side of the camera, pardon my arm. It'll be easier to do it this way. Okay, sorry for the quick move. I'm still playing with this. I think I've got the arrangement that I want now. So we'll start over here, and that will be obviously Newton's farm, but don't pay attention to the stuff that's up on top there at the moment, obviously. So you'll come down from Newton's farm, come down this hill. I'm going to have a little bit of a road back there of some sort. That, which says right now it's a coal dealer, will actually become a gravel dealer or something of that nature. And then this here will be Lehigh Cement. Now, anybody who's from Maryland or has driven through or taken a train through Baltimore, going down 95, off on the right hand side as you're headed on 95 south, there's a Lehigh Cement plant. That's what that's going to represent. Now, obviously this isn't Baltimore, but that's what it's going to represent. And then over here, I kind of put the backdrop up there, will be the lumber company. Like I said, I'm still kind of, I'm actually happy with the arrangement. I'm just not sure how it's going to work out yet. And really, in reality, I'm really not sure how it's going to work until I actually get it somewhat wired in, because right now there's no wire to it. One of the things, and there's a little shack sitting down there, that'll be quote unquote the industrial yard office, or the industrial railway office. Like I said, this area here is going to be called the Weichert Industrial Area, or the Weichert Industrial Railway, which is another name from the family. That was actually on my mother's side. So Newton's farm, Newtown, comes from my mother's last maiden name, which was Newton. Her grandparents, one of her grandparents was named, their last name was Weichert. So that's the whole reason behind that. But one of the things that I need to work on here is this trackage area in here. This is inbound and outbound. And I happen to think, well, gee, if I've got a train that comes in going north, and he's going to drop cars off and then pick cars up, I can't have the block or the dead track for the industrial railway on this switch, because then I'd have to have some way of stopping the yard locomotive or the industrial railway locomotive. So what I'm thinking here is actually cutting these, not cutting, but splitting this in half to where there's going to be, it'll be blocked from, let's say here, that way. That would be controlled by the industrial railway, and from here over would be controlled, and I'm not even sure that this is even showing up on camera. Okay, the switch here, that's where I've got the block right now. So that from here on out, on that back side is a block. That's not going to work, because if I bring a train in, he's going to stop. So what I'm thinking here is we go ahead and we cut this in half, so that way the mainline locomotive can come in and pick up and drop off cars without interrupting, you know, the railway the industrial railway ops. And the same thing with the industrial railroad. You know, he can come in on this side and be able to pull and move strings of cars around without actually impeding on the main line with that, and that's the whole purpose. Now, the real way to do this, obviously, would be to have the main line locomotive do all the switching. I don't want to tie the main line up that long, to be perfectly honest. I don't think, I mean, that would be the realistic way, I guess, to do it, and this freaking light is gonna, yeah. You know what? We'll do it this way. Hey, now we don't have it shining off my forehead, just off my face. You know, realistically, the switching locomotive or the mainline locomotive would do all the switching. I don't want to tie a mainline locomotive up that long. I wanted to come in, drop cars off, pick cars up, and head to the hidden area. So, and it's the same thing with the train, the southbound, that would hit the back or the fascia flat and the interchange. The same deal. I don't want them tying up the main line any longer than I have to. Not that I don't want to tie up the main line, because that adds to the whole operational side of the railroad. I want to have those situations where you have to pass, where a passenger train or a where a passenger train or a through freight has to work around, or, you know, has to diverge to get past, you know, the switching operation. So, you know, like I said, I just don't want to tie it up any longer than I have to. So that's the whole reason behind this little industrial area here, and having its own switch locomotive to do all the movements within the railway limit. So, you know, the mainline locomotive brings its train up, it takes its cars, it drops them off, it picks up what needs to be picked up, hooks it back up to the rest of its train, and continues on northbound. So, I'm hoping, I mean, I know I've already had a video of sort of the operation of the two hidden yards. I'm hoping, and one of the things I'm actually going to start working on here in a little bit is I'm actually going to start going through some of my rolling stock. Here again, it sounds like I'm way ahead of schedule, and I'm really not. All this is, again, is just making sure that the ideas that I have in my head that have made it to the layout are going to work. Now's the time to figure that out. As it was brought up before, you want to make sure that it's bulletproof. You want to make sure that it's going to do what you want it to do before you start gluing things down and building up scenery and things of that nature, which brings me to something else that'll probably be a part of vlog 10, and that is the gorge area over there. There's been some changing over there. There's going to be some more changes coming to that, but right now it's still a WIP, work in progress, just like the rest of it. Did not get the electric done to the railroad yet. My buddy came over, looked at it, and went, you know what? I'm not exactly certified to do this, so I've got somebody that is, and he's going to put me in touch with him, just to verify that everything that I've done is right, which I'm pretty sure it is, but it's always good to have a second opinion. So, with that being said, this is going to end vlog 9. It's going to end vlog 9. You all know the deal. Be safe. God bless. Yeah, I've skipped something there. Wait for the highball green tracks ahead. Be safe. God bless. We'll catch you all next time. See ya.